And I want to talk about Liam Manning, actually, because I'm still utterly convinced, I'm still very convinced this is going to work. But that doesn't mean he is exempt from criticism. Just like we criticised Nigel Pearson when things went wrong, or we lost a game, or we didn't play well, or something went wrong tactically. We still criticise Nigel Pearson. So we've got to do the same with Liam Manning. That's only fair. Despite him being new, despite this not being his players, etc., injuries, whatever, bet side, we've got a reasonable criticise him. I think he got it wrong yesterday. I think he got it very wrong with the fact that he played Tommy Conway out. I think it was on the side. It's just bugging me. Was it on the left or was it on the right? I think it was on the left. He played Tommy Conway on the left. Yeah. And Nucky Wells, no disrespect to him, he's had a great career, but he's utterly past it at the moment. And I do not get this kind of belief that playing Tommy Conway and Nucky Wells in a two up top is somehow going to make things better. Tommy Conway's getting used to this system now under Liam Manning, where he's playing as a sole striker and he's dropping in and he's like helping in the build-up. Why should Nucky Wells stand in the way of that? And just because he scored a good goal against Coventry, which we'll talk about in a bit, decent goal, good finish. What about the fact that he's been ineffective in basically every game before that? Or are you just going to ignore that then? Utterly past it, I think. And I'd like to be proven wrong because I think he's obviously an unbelievable character in the dressing room. He comes across very well. But look, just doesn't cut it. And I don't personally believe he's good enough at the moment. He's not playing anywhere near the levels of what we need and what Liam Manning needs. So the fact that Tommy Conway played on the left, error by Liam Manning. Second error, we've talked about this. The Matty James and Joe Williams double pivot. I've said they're not nowhere near agile enough, can't move themselves around the pitch, and we got utterly battered in that area. And Ross McCrory looked tired, looked lethargic, but can't really blame him for that either. But yeah, I thought the whole setup, to be honest, against the side, maybe it was a little bit naive on our part to expect to outpossess Leeds or try and play proper football against Leeds. We just got pinned in. It's not like we were incompetent or can't play football. We just got pinned in. We were tactically pinned in by Leeds, and that ultimately is not good enough. So yeah, we can criticize Manning, but that doesn't mean he needs to be slated completely or that Nigel Pearson is better, which is ridiculous. This is a ridiculous notion. But yeah, I think he deserves to be criticised. So I think that's fair.
Yeah, no manager can make every decision perfectly, and I think a lot of fans have been talking about putting Naki up front with Conway, and I think it's an interesting aspect. I think it could be something that could work, but if you think about the long-term project, and we mentioned Naki as well in the last podcast, yeah, he's coming to the end. I mean, it was a nice finish on in the midweek, but one nice finish in like what, half a season now, where we had the Stoke goal, it's just not good enough. I mean, it fell to him, and yeah, it was a good goal, but I think his time at Bristol City, I'll be surprised if he's still here come next season. Yeah, like we said, we love the guy, but Conway's getting used to this, and I think that's the future, especially if we bring in another striker realistically, because if we move to something with two up front, we don't really have enough quality, I don't think, because it would be Cornick starting games, and yeah, I'm not too sure about that. In terms of the double pivot we mentioned already, and I agree, and in general, I do believe it was the right switch. I still think it was at a wrong moment in time, but I think he can definitely improve the squad. Will he be the right man to take us to that next step into the playoff contention and up through to a Wembley playoff final? I'm not sure just yet. He's had 18 games now. still in the early stages. And we'll have to see where we come end of the season. We've had a transfer window. We're going to talk about types of players we brought in. But yeah, dip in form. But there's been a lot of positives throughout his start as head coach, and there's things to work on. But then some games you sit there and wonder, what are we doing today, and what are these decisions? And sometimes you wonder, but yeah, I still think he's the right man to take us forward in that next step. So yeah, people, talking about Nigel Pearson and stuff and getting on the back of him already. I would disagree.
Yeah, exactly that. Under Nigel Pearson, we went away to Leicester, sat with 10 men behind the ball, and that didn't get us anything, did it? So look, it's a tough one to take at the moment. However, it's I think it's going to get better eventually, and hopefully that hopefully, give him a bit of a free hit till the end of the season, a bit of a pass, take him mid-table finish. If you can beat Forest in the FA Cup, brilliant. If not, win a few more games, just make sure you're comfortably into the mid-table spots, and then go again next season with that pre-season, with that style of play fully embedded, with the more players, with Max Bird in the team. Hopefully a bit more of a improvement. Should we talk about the commentary game, or do you want to talk about transfers?
I think let's talk about transfers, because that's been an exciting thing on the agenda.
Mentioned Max Bird, haven't I?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, obviously it was deadline day a couple of days ago. Quite a quiet in general football. It was quite a quiet transfer window, but for Bristol City and us, we made quite a few deals. It was 5 in the end, right? Including everything. So just to go deals over, yeah. So the first one was only a couple of days in. We had Adam Murphy.
Oh, as in overall. Okay, I thought you meant 5
overall,
days. 5 deals on deadline day. All right.
No. Yeah. Overall, just to recap, yeah. So we signed Adam Murphy from St. Pat's, as a more of obviously a long-term project. And then, just so I get it in chronological order, and then we signed TGH on permanent deal. That doesn't really count, obviously. And then Scott Twine, shame he's injured now, which we haven't mentioned yet. But is it going to be a couple weeks? Did they say?
Yeah, he should be back. He'll be out for our toughest period of the season, but that's fine. He'll be back, hopefully back for QPR.
Yeah. So yeah, that would be a massive bonus. He is on loan. It is not an option to buy, but his contract does end with Burnley in the summer. So perhaps something if he
does it.
I think so. From what
I'd highly doubt it.
Well, maybe as I'm still talking through the others. Check as I go through the other couple. I don't know. I feel like I heard somewhere that it did. Maybe it's next summer. And then on 22nd of January, we got Josh Stokes from the non-league. It was a buy and then a loan back to Aldershot, who looks like a good young prospect, just like Adam Murphy. And then 2 deadline day signings of Mabude, who was completely unknown to us, as in normally we get kind of a hint of what's coming, but we had no idea. Most of us were expecting a striker, but in comes a kind of a right attacking midfielder.
Twine's contract ends in the summer of 2026.
Okay, well, I've got that one wrong. Yeah. Well, I heard, obviously I got that one wrong, but I think I heard somewhere that perhaps a deal could be potentially agreed.
It might have been, you might have been talking about Max Bird, because his contract ends this summer.
Oh, yeah, that is true. Yeah, it might have been that. And also, I think Adam Murphy's contract. Oh, no, it was that.
Yeah, Adam Murphy's contract was up. His contract had expired.
Because we tried to get him in the summer, and then we waited.
Yeah. Then we waited till now because of the contract expiry. Yeah, and then we paid compensation to St. Pat's. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's probably confusion. But I think I read somewhere that potentially a deal could be agreed, seeing how this 6 months goes. But yeah, Mabude from a mid-table Belgium side, Man City academy. As he was young, I've seen some clips. He looks pretty bright. Scottish international. Yeah, he seems like a good player on loan with an option to buy, which is good. I'm not sure exactly how much that is for, but if he provides to be a good player, obviously, I like these options to buys. I feel they feel like a low risk situation. And then
he joined
you know how much?
KVC. He joined KVC Westerlo for 1.5 million. So I suggested probably around in that region because of the because of that.
Well, I mean, he's only played 3 games for Westerlo, which is strange.
Yeah. So I'd suggest they probably want to recoup most of that money. So I'd suggest it probably in that 1.5 or 1.3 million regionish.
Yeah, but yeah, any player who's played for the academy for Man City is pretty promising because they bring out obviously a lot of good products. And also like the fact that we've kind of used the foreign market a bit, and even though he is obviously originally from the Man City academy and from the UK, the last one was Bajic and Masengo, probably from foreign clubs in France. But I think it's nice that we're kind of reaching our scouting network a bit further. So obviously we hope it pays off, and he's also available for Nottingham Forest because it's obviously not cup tied or anything. And then finally the one you mentioned, Max Bird, who was another buy and then loan back. So he'll be there in the summer. So we've got Stokes and Max Bird ready to come in already for our squad next season. And it's January, but it looks promising. And I'd say it's a very successful window. And I'm really happy about how it turned out. We've got some young players and some really good additions.
I just want to say, well, one loanee, Max Bird, got an assist for Derby today. Their 1-0 win at Charlton. And another kind of loanee, but he's not going to be here next season. Andy Vyman scored for West Brom as they beat Birmingham 1-0 late on. And of course, Andy Vyman scored against Birmingham. Of course he did. Ex-Villa boy. Yeah, good for him. Good for Andy. Yeah, I still love him. So yeah, good to see him doing well at West Brom. Apparently he's impressed in the 2 games he's played there. So good on him. Yeah, let's talk about Max Bird then, because I think that's the big deal of the deadline day. Maybe not so much impact this season, but certainly going to be impactful next season. And I think he's an unbelievable player. I've been kind of going on about Max Bird on my channel for a while. I absolutely adore him. Think he's a brilliant player. Left-footed. He's just so elegant. He's just so classy. He reminds me a little bit of Adam Morton, who's gone and joined Crystal Palace for £25 million or something this January. So very, very good left foot, wizard really on the ball. Defensive midfielder, so he has got that bite in him. He's played under Paul Warne, so he has got that defensive nous about him. But just generally a fantastic footballer, and someone that hopefully will take over the reins from Matty James, maybe in the summer. You're muted.
Yeah, that's my bad. Rookie mistake. Oh, yeah. Obviously, Matty's contract ends in the summer, so it's good to bring in 2 kind of midfield replacements. And yeah, good additions. Do you think Matty James will get an extension, or do you think his time's definitely over?
Well, we can't. Well, Joe Williams is definitely going to play in midfield, and I don't think Joe Williams and Matty James work in the same midfield.
Yeah.
So I'd say probably gone in the summer.
Yeah, especially with our new signings as well. It does look like it.
Maybe we bring in one more midfielder in the summer. I think that might be on the list as well.
Do you think we'll look at a striker, an out and out?
Well, that's
Sadly,
that's for another podcast. But I think we might look at someone
mm,
in someone in midfield. I think we might.
yeah, it would be important. But our squad depth, I've kind of realised, is without injuries is quite large now. With our new like loanees and everything, like we have quite a few options. Especially in the attacking region now with Twine and Mabude. So yeah, be interested to see how we use it. And it kind of seems like Cornick's just not going to get any minutes really for the rest of the season. Well, it seems like it. But yeah, on Andy, happy for him. I'm going to try and watch that goal. But obviously, yeah, it's a working loan, I guess. I mean, that's what they wanted him to do, but be a little bit of an impact. And yeah, he came off the bench. Which is nice to see. Other transfer kind of news, I mean, nothing much really to say on
a lot
that.
of our fan base, a lot of our fan base wanted Kiefer Moore. He's gone to Ipswich, hasn't he? And then he scored 2 today. Actually, he came on at halftime. I think might have been halftime, a little bit over halftime. He scored twice at Ipswich as they lost 3-2 at Preston. Yeah, the Max Bird thing came about quite late on, didn't it? On deadline day, we were kind of Ivray and Bude. Forgot about him. Yeah, looks like an interesting addition. Hopefully he's gonna add something. As in, he described himself in his interview as a technically gifted, like a pretty. That's a bit paraphrasing, but quite dribbly, technically gifted. Hopefully he's like an upgrade on Arnis a little bit in terms of taking players on, adding a little bit extra to that front three. And yeah, hopefully he links up well with Tommy Conway, and we'll see how he gets on as well, because it'll be interesting to see how he acclimatizes to the Championship. Yeah, I think that's about it in terms of transfers.